How to live your best life from prophecy to fulfillment. I wanted to call it that. I wanted to say that because you might hear about several different ways that you might live your best life and then you're let down because it doesn't work. I'm telling you, this is your fulfillment because I know that you can live your best life. And the reason I'm doing this video is that I want to explain who I am. I'm going to explain my work and what I'm moving to now. And this will also probably give you a little understanding about what might be occurring for you or understanding what might be happening in our world. But I know that you can live your best life, and all you have to do is want to do that. And sometimes that's really, really challenging, as it was for me. If you don't know me, I'm Roger Burnley, and I want to say, first of all, I'm 73 years old, so I'm giving you stuff that I know that I have lived, and that's why I am talking about this now. But I have done many other things in my life. I'm now a channel, a spiritual channel, a mystic, a prophet, all of those things. But before, you probably have known me as a vocal coach, a business owner, a manager, an agent, a model, all of those things. That's all I did before. And so what I'm saying is that your life journey may take you on very different roads, but they're going to fulfill you if you keep following them because they are leading you to your authentic self. That is how we live our best lives, is becoming our authentic self. And that is your soul journey, as I think of it. And I know that anyone can have that kind of best life when they're willing to take that journey. There's something that I always talk about because I wrote about Carl Jung a couple of years ago because I felt that a lot of my work was speaking to him and following a lot of his traditions. And one of the things that he knew is that the difficulty that we have as humans is self-discovery, is looking at ourselves, is this deep reflection of looking at who we are. And I know that because I've been doing it all of my life, and it was incredibly challenging. And then I had to discover that, well, wait a minute, the benefits of that far outweigh the difficulty that I had moving through it. And that's what I want you to understand as well, no matter what you might be experiencing in your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are, what you have done, what you haven't done, none of that. There is potential that's within you that's completely unlimited. As humans, we all operate the same way. It's through our consciousness. Now, our consciousness is always limited no matter who we are, because we could have succeeded in so many different ways. But what happens if there's more that you want to do? That's what's going on for me. This is why I'm doing this video, because I'm taking another step in my life, which I want you to understand as well, because it could be really, really beneficial for you to understand how we can individually raise our consciousness and create really great lives. And then we also aid our world. And that's the information that I was given, that my life was meant to do that, to bring something in, which is why I could accept this idea of being a prophet, because I've written it all down. And that's what happens. There is, what I know, for every single person, a divine plan, you might think of it, or a blueprint or something they're meant to follow. However, we have all of these blockages along the way, and I had tons of them. And if you go to my website, rogerburnley.com, you will see that I've written about this over the years. And if you go back to the earliest article that I have there is in 2016, because that's when I knew that I was meant to change in some way, because I could feel the world was changing. And when we start to understand everything is energy, including how we conduct our lives, how we heal, how we understand things, and how we create our lives and how we create our world, because we all do it equally. We all contribute because we're all energy. And so that comes into, understanding so many different things that we figure out later about sciences, quantum mechanics, or quantum realm, all of that stuff. But that's something that develops over time. And so when we live, we each have a role to play in how we're going to develop within ourselves. And maybe we can then give something to others where we cause our world to become more. And so I'm going to tell you what happened and how this all came about. In 1989, I sat down and started doing something called automatic writing. And I talked about this because I did a presentation, and it's called The Science of Fulfillment. It's on my YouTube channel, and you can find that and listen to it, because I wanted to explain all of the science that I discovered about how you could live your best life, how you could move through all your trauma, all of those things and heal because that's what I've done. And that's what this work has done for me. But it was a challenge. So I will tell you that first. But when I started receiving this information, I was connecting to something that I didn't completely understand. It took me years to understand I was really being given divine guidance, basically, because it was causing me to heal and move through things that would have seemed impossible to many other people. And but I didn't tell people. I kind of kept it hid for 20 years almost until other people started finding the work. And then I did something else. I sold my business in 2017 because I knew I needed to make another shift. And I was stuck. Sometimes when we get stuck, we have to force ourselves to do something because we'll talk ourselves out of it. And that's what I had. And I knew that. So if I wasn't hanging on to all the money that I was making, because I was making a lot of it at that time, if I wasn't hanging on to that, I could get to this other place of who I was meant to become and bring to this world. And it worked because I had to go through so much after I had done that. And it was challenging and difficult. And I faced a lot of judgment, criticism, and all that. But I knew that there was a bigger purpose in what I had done and what my life had been. I wrote about much of it in a book I released called Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom. And I released that in 2019. You see, because I struggled with fear my entire life since an early child. I knew. And so I understood that most people, most humans, no matter where you are, that is the thing that holds you back, is the fear. Can I do this thing? Who am I supposed to be? So we're always answering those questions. But where do we answer them? We answer them in our consciousness. And then we start to understand, oh, wait a minute, that consciousness again has been limited. So we start to know there's neuroscience, there's cognitive behavior training, there are all sorts of things that we can use to move through that limitation. And so what happens if we put them all together and start using them? We heal. And that's what I've experienced. And so I wasn't going to really talk about and put any of this work into a program or a career. That was never my intention. I just thought that all of this was just for me, that it was just what I was receiving. And then I discovered it was for a grander purpose. And so in 2020, I knew that the world was changing and I started receiving different information. And I knew that I needed to change so that I could help more people because I understood we were moving through a mass ascension. Now, when we move through ascension in our individual lives, it's challenging because we're moving through some blockage, some judgment we've had about ourselves, but a lot of times it's old stuff, meaning that it's things that we have inherited from our ancestors, our parents, or whoever. And so we're supposed to bring in something new whenever we've lived, and that's what's happening now. But see, the world does that as well. So in 2020, when I started receiving this different information, it was very clear that we were going to move through a huge change in the world, and even told me that I'm saying the information I received even said that we will have certain places where it would be prominent, and that was the United States, and which is why we're experiencing all the division and anger because we're uprooting all old things. And so knowing that I had done so much of this and I had all these years and I've seen the results because the results are when you become aligned with your authentic self, with your purpose in the world, all sorts of miracles begin to happen. You start to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's what goes on. There's no condition that we can't overcome or we can't heal. And that was a message that I was bringing through many, many years ago. I was going to call even my program Overcoming Everything because I knew that it was possible. But I also had to live it and I had to understand that it would work because that's who I am. I never give anyone something that I don't know that it would produce the results. And that's what I talked about in that presentation. Why did it take me so long? Because I'm one of those people that I have to tell you, yes, I know this can take you to where you're supposed to be. And then what happened, even in 2021, when I first put this information out there and I saw the results, and you can hear all of that because there are testimonials on my site. You can find them everywhere. And people are saying, this work changed my life. And then they said, I've never done anything like this. Well, they couldn't have because it was brand new. It came through what my lived experience was, all the accumulated experience and wisdom and knowledge that I've gained, plus being connected to cosmic guidance. I know that every single person has their soul has worth and value that they're meant to bring into this world. I just happen to be a person that was given a path. My life path just led me to be a prophet and bring this information in. And so then we start to see that people can heal and change, and that could happen in our world as well. And the reason I'm also talking about this is I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what the whole thing is going to be, because I said that I'm changing this because I've had so much information that I've yet to put in this program, and I'm going to give the people who come into this work all of it. That's my thing. The philosophy that I downloaded, by the way, is called Your Life Operating Instructions. And that's going to be the book that I'm working on, that I'm going to do, that's going to explain the entire journey and put all of it in there. But from that principle, from that philosophy, is what I created Your Last Development Program. And I called it that because I knew I finally, after all these years, that I had something that no one else, they would need anything else, because you use it forever. You hold on to it forever because you're always evolving. You're never done with that. And so if you have a tool to use to be able to accomplish that, then you have everything that you want. And that's how you live your best life. But let me show you what it's going to be. It's not in there, but I just want to give people a kind of a preview, because I know all the things that can lead you to living this best life, all the things that could cause you to heal, all of that. And so that's what I'm determined to put into this work. And this, just so you get a sense of it. And you can see just some of the things. I'm just going to go through it because I always like to meet with people. I am highly intuitive, and if you've seen a Wilhelm session, you know I can answer any question when I meet someone in person. So that's what I always like doing first, is to get to know someone, to know what your journey is going to be, then get you to see who you are, using skills and development to go into and developing your emotional intelligence. Then mindset. We know that that is the most important thing. And how do you get there? Well, I've got so many exercises and ideas, because it shifts your mind. Relationships, that's what everyone wants, but we sometimes go into them without knowing who we are. So this is the time where now you can start looking at and understanding the relationships that you've had and how they've affected you, because they have. They're all, no matter who, friends, family, all of it is within you. Mindset, again, there's no reason for us not to be prosperous. It's only that the mindset hasn't changed, because you're born with this wealth within you. You just have to develop it, because it's all energy again. And when we understand that, we start taking moves to embody who we are. Then and then the strategy. You have to keep doing things. Nothing happens overnight, especially depending on how long you might have been limited in your thinking, in however you might have been programmed. But this health and well-being, I've done so. I'm going to talk much more about this, because I've done with this work. I've healed more things that even my doctors couldn't understand or explain, because there's a mind-body connection that you can reach. Now, I'm not saying everyone will do that, but it is possible, because I've done it. And what I will do is give everyone the ideas and techniques that I developed because of that. And then purpose and fulfillment. Everyone has one. You move in your life in a different way when you can feel that purpose and that fulfillment, and you start to love yourself. That is the thing that starts happening for you. And then you want to keep going, because you're never done. And so when you develop techniques that you can use consistently, you're going to keep moving into the higher states. And so there's no limit to what you might be able to do or create. And then mastery. That's what we all want. And so when you start looking at what you've created, which is what I have my the people in the program, that's what they do. They start looking at everything that they've created, and they builds this momentum of empowerment and courage and confidence. Then, and this is always going to be what we're doing. We have a support. We have everything reflecting on your journey, because everyone has value. No matter how you might have judged your journey, there is value in there, or your experiences, really, because that's what we typically do, is we judge what we've gone through or not done, and that holds us back. But when you understand that you can reinterpret everything and start to move beyond any trauma, that is how you heal. Because what happens is now you don't have all this weight on you. Now you're not feeling burdened. None of that. And I can tell you because that's what's happened. And then you start to reverse age as I'm doing. You've heard that, but I'm telling you all of these things are true, which is why I'm saying that this is from prophecy, things you kind of theoretically hear. I'm telling you it's true and you can have it. And that's why I am doing this. So I hope you gained a lot from this, and please check out the work. And if it's your first time here to my channel, please subscribe, share it with others. But I want you to understand why I am doing this work, because I know it's going to make a huge difference in your life, but ultimately you will then make a big difference in our world. All right. See you soon.